Hi there, my name is Yasmin Robles with Robles Designs, and in today's video we are going to be chatting about sitemaps. I'm going to be going over what a sitemap is, why it's important for your business website, and how you can get started on your own whether you are a website designer or not. Before we dive in though, a little bit about us. Again, we are Robles Designs, where we create jewel-worthy websites for entrepreneurs who are hell-bent on taking over the world. We do this not just by creating pretty sites, we actually put some thought process and strategy into your site. That includes things like heat maps and looking at your analytics and making sure that every decision that we make is based off of data. If you'd like to check out more, feel free to go to roblesdesigns.com, and you can also download our free checklist, our website checklist, at roblesdesigns.com/checklist, which will help you basically go through your site and make sure that you have everything that you need to set up the right foundation. So what exactly is a sitemap? A sitemap is it's basically a list of all of the pages. You can get super fancy with it, but it's basically a list of all of the pages that are on your site or will be going on your site, whether they are hidden or not from the user. So basically it's a list. And if the pages are to be hidden, for example, you have a members only sort of content going on in your site, then it's unlikely that they would need to necessarily go into an official sitemap that you would then provide to Google or Bing, but it should still be on your list of pages. So again, a sitemap is basically a list. Now we are going to go through on how to create a sitemap and how to make it look a little bit more functional for you in terms of creating your site, and how it can help you really make it easy for you to figure out the navigation and what the user experience will be like once the user is on your site. So a sitemap is basically a list, and why it's important, it's important because you want your user to have a great experience, and you want to be able to plan out that experience. So if you think about it this way, if you're creating a haunted house and you are really trying to strategize the route people will take throughout the haunted house, what they will see at each point and what they will leave with. So if it is a haunted house for children, that is your user is a child, they're gonna come into your house, your haunted house, and what will they see first, where will they turn, what will they see next, and will they get candy at the end? At the very basic, that is kind of like the user experience, right? And this sitemap is going to help you really understand what page comes first, what page comes second, and what that experience is going to be like for the user. So how do you create a sitemap? The very first step is to write everything down, write a giant list of all the pages that have to go on your site. So if you are a commercial cleaning company, what you will want is a home page, an about page, a contact page, probably an overview of services page, and if you are really trying to get snazzy, you're probably going to want a page about your carpet cleaning, and a page about general recurring cleanings, and a page about window cleaning, and a page about, so these pages, and we can go into SEO. There's also other videos that you can probably find wherever you are looking at this video from about SEO and why this would be helpful. But essentially, you're making a list for your sitemap. You're making a list of all of the pages that are going to be going on your site. Don't worry about importance. Don't worry about which drop down they're going to go under. Just write a list of all of the pages. These can also include FAQs, so frequently asked questions, privacy policy, terms and conditions, accessibility statements. If there are internal pages for members, what pages are those going to be? Will they see a dashboard? And what will they click into throughout the dashboard? So think of all of these pages and just write down a list, just a scratchy on the back of your kid's homework paper, kind of. Hopefully they've already handed it in, and it's old. But on the back of any scrap paper, write down a list of all of the pages that will go onto your site. The next thing that you have to do in order to create this sitemap is to label them in order of importance. So I want you to go back to your list and start labeling them 1, 2, or 3 next to the name of the page. So if it's the FAQ page, how important is it for the user to know where this FAQ page is? For example, The About page is likely a 1. They will likely want to know more about your business. But the FAQ page is probably more like a 3. They should find it. They should be easy, they should be able to find it, but it might not necessarily be something that is of high importance to them. They might be very interested in who the founder is, but that would be a secondary page. So it might be a 2. So you might have between the About page, that would be a 1. The About the Founder page might be a 2, and the FAQ page might just be a 3. So I want you to go into your list, your brainstorming list, and just jot down a number next to each of them and think of it in terms of your user. Now, you could have done some preliminary work, some surveys, all that great stuff. If you have a current site, you can go into your analytics, into your heat map, and just start seeing what people are actually clicking on, and that's how you would label all of the pages. But if you do not have that information, try to base it off of as if you were the potential user and what their brain is doing at that moment. So if you are a career advice site and you sell career coaching, what sort of time of day would they be likely coming to you? What state of mind would they be in order to get to you? So that way you can say, okay, well, if they are really wanting to work with me one-on-one, but they're coming in during their lunch break, they probably need to make sure that they find my calendar page a lot sooner into the design journey, into the user journey than later on. So kind of think of it that way of where the user is coming from, what state of mind they're in, and then start labeling them in order of importance, the pages, not the user. Okay, so now we are going to create the actual top navigation of your site. And so this means that everything that was a 1, and you should really only have about maybe 5 1s out there. If you have more than 5, I would say 7 max. If you have more than that, you should really look into which one of those might be a 2 instead of a 1. So all of these 1s will be at the highest level of the site. This will be like your homepage, about page, services, and contact. Let's say those are your number 1s. So you're going to circle those, and those are the ones that are going to go on your top navigation of the site. So this is the menu or top navigation. It's usually at the very top of a site as soon as it loads. There's usually like the logo on the left side, and then the rest of the words that are links to other pages. So that is navigation. Sometimes people get a little fancy and start putting navigation somewhere else, but in general, that is where the navigation goes. So you would have about 5, maybe 7 max, I would say really no more than 7 links up on top of the page. After that, you're going to go into your number 2s, and you're going to see if any of those fit underneath for drop downs or mega menus, fit underneath the pages that are currently at the top. So if you are an e-commerce site, you will want to have your number 1s will likely be things like tops, bottoms, shoes, accessories. And then underneath tops, it would be like summer tops and blouses and work shirts or cool t-shirts. So those would be secondary, and it would be a drop down that comes down and shows those secondary levels. For a service-based business, like a commercial cleaning company, you might just have home, about, services, contact, and then under services, you would have something like commercial space cleaning, office space cleaning, carpet cleaning, and maybe window cleaning, and whatever else. So those are secondary. Those would be in the drop down under services. The tertiary ones, the ones that you labeled as level 3 or the ones that you're not sure about, these can always go into the footer. So some of these pages might not necessarily be linked anywhere. They would be linked within a page. So if I went into the about page and from there you had a button to learn more about the founder, then that would mean it's a tertiary page. It's not necessarily at the top navigation. It's not at the footer navigation. It's just linked through from that page. So my user journey would be homepage, landing on the homepage, about page, and then I see maybe the team pictures and I see the founder and I'm like, I want to click on this link to learn more about the founder. I would click under her or his profile and then be taken to this third page that's not really necessarily linked to from anywhere else. The footer, which is the bottommost portion of the page and often the most ignored portion of a page or a site, is really great for these tertiary, some of the pages that you want people to find easily, but they aren't that important. So FAQs, shipping policies, return policies, terms and conditions, privacy policy, what else? Maybe double facing things like the about page can also, the link for the about page can also be down there, the contact information, location information, hours, that sort of thing can go into the footer. And those are the tertiary pages that you do want them to easily access, them as in the user, to easily access, but they do not need to be anywhere at the top, not even in the drop down. So that's basically how you would utilize a sitemap in order to create your user flow. Another way that you can utilize a sitemap is in order to understand the journey of the user. So what we typically do is around the time that we're right before we start actually creating the site and putting drop downs and everything in place, we will create this user journey, and we will say, okay, if somebody is coming in from the home page, landing on the home page from somewhere, let's say social media, how can we get them to our goal, which could be contacting us, signing up for a freebie, something like that. So then we understand that from all of these pages that we brainstormed, the person would go to the home page, see a link to the freebie page, go there, and then sign up. Another thing that we can do is say we want them to really learn more about us and look into our services and about page and our mission statements and all of that. So then we would say, okay, if they somehow they landed on our services page, from there, we want them to scroll through, but we want them to learn more about us. So we would then ensure that the user journey goes into the about page. And this means that we would have on that services page links to the about page within the text, not just up at the top of the navigation. So a sitemap is really important for not just building out a site, but also, and not just for SEO purposes, because you can submit a sitemap and that is a whole nother video, but it's also important for you to figure out what the real user journey is and what pages they get to see and don't get to see, and what is important to them, and ultimately what's going to get them to your goal, which is likely to make tons of money because they became a client and they love you. So that is basically what a sitemap is and how to utilize it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments or message me. Anything goes. You can find me on Instagram at Robles Design Studio, where I make or try to make funny reels. You can tell me if they're not funny, and then you can send me some inspiration on how to make it funny. But I try to do a couple of reels, keep you entertained, and give you some insights into what we do, as well as what can be a few tips for your website. If you are so keen on downloading the checklist, make sure to go find out more at roblesdesigns.com/checklist. You can also sign up for our waitlist for our course, and that will be linked in the description as well. And yeah, I am so excited that you were able to watch this video, and I hope to catch you in the next one.